Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of Terraform. My name is Tia from DevOps Easy Learning, and today we'll be going through how to install Terraform on Windows operating system, right? This is something that I've seen out there that a lot of folks sometimes can struggle a little bit on how to install Terraform either on Linux, on Mac, and also on Windows operating system, right? Because most of the time when they are still learning and they don't really have experience, what they are doing is that they are going through Terraform documentation and just follow the steps that we have on Terraform documentation. And what it's going to do basically is just to install the latest version of Terraform. But if you have experience, right, you guys know, we all know that in companies out there don't usually use the latest version of Terraform. What they are doing is that they are going to kind of look the stable release out there and make sure that they are using that version. And when you will join the organization, they will not ask you to install the latest version of Terraform because folks usually just type brew install Terraform on Mac. That is going to install the latest version of Terraform. On Windows, they will go ahead and follow the documentation and just follow all the steps, which is just going to download and install also the latest version of Terraform on Windows, right? And let's say you're on Ubuntu, if you just type the app update and app install Terraform, is going to install the latest version. And also, let us take this scenario where the company basically manage multiple versions of Terraform, right? What can happen here before the company basically manage multiple versions of Terraform? You also need to ask yourself a question. Let me give you guys an example. The company might be using maybe a very old version of Terraform, which is like Terraform 0.12.30, for instance. And let's say you join the organization and they ask you to install Terraform 0.12.30 and you go and install another version. What happens is that you might trigger Terraform. Let's say you just go and install Terraform 0.13 and you trigger Terraform with that. What will happen is that Terraform will go ahead and upgrade the state file. And that state file, it will not be backward compatible with Terraform 0.12.30. It's not backward compatible, which means if you, let's say, for instance, you trigger an EKS module with Terraform 0.13, folks within the organization now how to install Terraform 0.13 before they will be able to trigger that particular module because the state file was already upgraded. And this can cause a lot of issue also within the organization because folks might upgrade the state file by mistake. This scenario can also happen when we want to upgrade a Terraform from one version to another. Let's take this example. We're using an old version of Terraform, which is basically Terraform 0.12.30, and we want to upgrade to Terraform 1.0.0. What will happen is that if you go through the release documentation, you will see that if you want to upgrade from 0.12 to 1, you will first of all upgrade to 0.13, 0.14, and from 0.14 to 1, everything basically stay the same. And they are backward compatible, right? That means if you have 0.14 installed, somebody have Terraform 1 also installed, you guys can be able to trigger Terraform without no issue. From Terraform 1 and above, we have something called the version now are backward compatible. But if you are using a very old version, it is not backward compatible, right? If you guys want to understand how to upgrade Terraform from one version to another, especially from old version to the latest version to something like Terraform 1, we will have backward compatibility, please let me know in the description below and I will go ahead and create a video for that. And what basically happened in this case, if you are the one doing the job, you have to install multiple versions of Terraform, right? That means you need the 12, the 13, maybe the 14, and also the version 1. And you have to manage multiple versions at once. And you will need to know how to properly install all those versions and manage those versions, because what happened is that if you install the first version and you call Terraform, and the second version, you call it Terraform, it is going to override the first version. And the third version, what are you going to do? You need to know how to rename those versions accordingly, according to your needs, right? And go ahead and use it. Never go to work and somebody just type maybe TF apply. You say, what is TF? Or he just type his name and say apply. You say, what is that? It's not a Terraform command. It might be because he basically renamed the Terraform binary to suit what he wants. Now, let us go ahead and see how we can kind of do this. What I'm going to do here is that I am going to install this first of all using the traditional way, and I'll also show you guys a PowerShell script that I put together so that it can help you guys to install any version that you want. If you click here, it's going to take me in my GitHub repository, and I'll also make sure that I'll put the link of this GitHub repository in the link in the description of this video, right? So that if you want to go ahead and follow the same step, you can go ahead and do so. Now, here, this is the PowerShell script that I was talking about, but that is not what I'm going to use. And I kind of mentioned, if you want to install Terraform, if you go through the Terraform documentation, you guys will see here how you can install Terraform on Linux, on Mac. This is Linux, this is Windows, using the Choco command line, or you can go to Linux, or you can go to Mac OS. You make sure that you have the Homebrew package installed and you follow all these steps. But at the end, if you follow all this, at the end you type Terraform hyphen version, you will see here that it is using the latest version of Terraform, which means if you follow this step and you go to the release documentation, which is this, if you go to the release documentation, which is this link right here, how to install Terraform on Windows. If you go to the release documentation, hold on, let me 1 second. That's AWS CLI. I want okay, right here. If you go to this release documentation, if you open this new tab, you guys will see that by the end, it will go ahead, you go ahead and install the latest version of Terraform, which is right now, when at this point that I'm recording this video, it is 1.7.0, something like that, right? And that is not what you want. That is not what they ask you to install, isn't it? Now, that is why you should not go to the Terraform documentation and do so. You should go ahead and go to the releases and download a specific release that you want. For instance, right now, I want to install Terraform version 1.0.0. I would look the right version that I want here. If you scroll up, I am already here to version 1.0.0, and I'll click on that. And you guys will see that these are all the packages available, right? We have it for Linux operating system, for Solaris, for Mac, and also we have it for Windows. Windows is here. Please make sure that you don't download the Windows 386.zip. Download the Windows AMD 64. Let me repeat it. Download the Windows AMD 64. Also, a lot of folks basically struggle with Terraform installation on Mac OS because they don't check the chip that they have. It happened to me at work where I struggled with this because I was just downloading the wrong Terraform binary here and put it on my Mac machine. And when I was trying to run Terraform, I have all kind of problem on it. I basically did some research and I realized that on Mac OS, I need to download a different package, and I basically follow the step and it works. And if you want to know how to properly also install Terraform on Mac, please let me know in the description below, and I will go ahead and create another video just for that. With that being said, I'm going to click on this, and this one is going to download the zip file and store it in my download folder. If I maximize this page and go to my download folder, as you guys can see here, I have one zip file here. If you kind of open the zip file here, you guys will see here that I have what? I have a binary, right? You can basically copy this binary, and if you like, you drop it anywhere that you want. For instance, you can drop the binary here, and if you open a command line here, well, I'll go ahead here and just use show more. I'm going to open my git bash command line here, and I can run Terraform here. But the only thing is that I need to use this backslash and say my binary is here. If you see hyphen version, this is going to give me the version of Terraform. But This is not what we want, right? You don't want to always run Terraform from this specific location. And that is why you need to add this thing in your path. If I'm doing this thing manually, this is what I will usually do. I will go to my C drive, and I'm going to create a folder here. I usually call that folder Terraform, or I'll call it anything for now. Let me call this one automation. I'll call it this folder automation. And I will just go ahead and copy the binary and add in this folder called automation. Let me do so. The binary, it is in my download folder, and I can copy this binary and put it here in automation. And right here, it is in automation. Now, what am I going to do? I will go and add this into my path. Let me select this, and I will go ahead here and type env in my search bar here to pull up the Windows environment variable. And I will go to environment variable here and click on path, edit. Here, I will say new path, and I'm going to add that. And that's it, very simple. Go ahead here and type OK and OK. Now, if you open my command line, it doesn't really matter. Let me even open CMD, the command prompt, and I will be able now to type Terraform just to see if it's going to work. We are missing one A here. Terraform, as you guys can see here, I can go ahead here and type -- version to check the version of Terraform. -- version. As you guys can see, Terraform 1.2 version 1.0.0, it is installed. Now, let's say tomorrow they ask me to install another version. What am I going to do? That is what I want. Let me explain the scenario. Tomorrow, let's say tomorrow they ask me to install Terraform, maybe version 13. This one. I will click on that to download the same package, right? Now, the download is done. Let me go ahead and hook over to my download folder. I have another one here, which is 13. Now, if I copy this binary and I want to go to automation folder here and paste it, it's not going to work because I have one. Either I can change maybe this one and rename this one, and I can call it, oops, I created a folder instead. I can rename this one, rename, and let me say I call this one TF1, rename. Oops, okay. I can call this TF1 and paste the new binary here, which is for Terraform 13. And here I can rename it also and call this one like TF. You can give any name, 13. As you guys can see, you change those names and you are the one who knows exactly what this means. Let me open my command line. Let me open any command line. This time around, I am going to use a PowerShell command line. And here, let's say TF1. As you guys can see, TF1 -- version. As you guys can see, TF13 and TF13 -- version. As you guys can see, this is the proper way to set up Terraform if you want to install multiple versions. But this name here can be anything. And every time that you want to run Terraform, you say if you want to use Terraform version 0.13, you say TF13, plan TF13, apply or destroy. If you want to run it with version 1, you just say TF1, plan, TF1, apply, and TF1, destroy, right? That's the proper way. Now, let me hook over here in this repository here. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a PowerShell script here that you can go ahead and kind of trigger this PowerShell script to install all the version that you want, right? If you don't know how, it's not even the PowerShell script, this one is the PowerShell script instead. If you don't understand how the PowerShell script works, you can just go ahead and run it. You don't really know how, you don't really need to understand how it works, but I'm going to tell you exactly what you can change here. Because here I set up some variable here where I'm going to define all the version that I'm going to install, right? I'm saying here that I want to install version 0.12.30, 0.13.0, 0.14.0, 0.1, 1.1. 1 and 1.2.6, 1.1.1. Wait a minute. Somebody will say why 1.1.1, 1.0.0, and also 1.0.0. Look here carefully. I want to call this version TF12. I want to call this version I want to call this version TF13. I want to call this version TF14, and I want to call this version TF1. And at the same time, I want to call the same version Terraform, which means when I will install this, and if you tap Terraform, by default, it will be using Terraform 1.0.0. And if you tap TF1 also, it will be using Terraform 1.0.0. And with this script, you can align multiple versions that you want to install here and also put the name that you want to call those versions, right? And I am going to create, as you guys can see, my script is going to create a folder in my C drive called Terraform. And right now, I even have that folder in my C drive. I'll go ahead and delete that folder, and I'll install it again with you guys. Let me go to PC here. Let me go to my C drive, PC, and I will navigate to my C drive, and I have that folder here called Terraform. As you guys can see here, I have all those versions installed. I'll go ahead and kind of rename this to something else so that it's going to create a new one, and you guys will go ahead, you guys will see it, exactly what I mean. Let me go ahead here and rename. Let me rename this one to Terraform, and I'll go at the end and append here. That means we don't have that folder no more. Now, let me go ahead and kind of go to my download folder, and I'm going to create a PowerShell script. I'll open Gig Bash here, and I'm going to create a PowerShell script file. You can open your CMD command here. And I'll go to my GitHub repository. I want to create a PowerShell script. And that PowerShell script, you can give any name, but I will call that one installer.ps1. PS1, it is just one little extension of the PowerShell script, right? And I'll go ahead, let me hook over to this, and I will use the Vim, and I will open, just paste, and I'm going to create, I'll copy the script, which is here, copy everything here. And I will paste it in here. Cool. I'll go ahead and save. It will use a for loop and loop over all the version and install everything. Download all the version using the for loop. Now, if you tap here, I will have that PowerShell script already. It is there. And let me go ahead and kind of run this script. We'll go ahead and follow the little instruction that I have here. We'll make sure that we kind of set the execution policy to remove sign. And this is just Windows stuff. I'll paste this here to do so. And bash, this is not, we can't do this one because when you are using gig bash here, this thing is expecting Linux command and not Windows Windows PowerShell command, right? That means I'll kind of open any terminal here, either PowerShell or command line, and set this execution policy to sign. And when that is done, I will go ahead now and copy and run that script. Here, you use backslash if you are using the command prompt or PowerShell. But if you are using gig bash doesn't understand backslash. Gig bash understand /. That means I will use a /. And here, it looked like we basically ran into an issue here. It looks like the command that we are using is not really good, but we'll go ahead and use this one here that is just PowerShell. We use we'll kind of pass the PowerShell command line, and we'll go ahead and set the execution policy to bypass, and we'll go ahead and kind of pass the file, the absolute path of our script file, right? And let me show you guys how to figure out the absolute path. The absolute path, I mean, of the script file. How can we figure it out? Right now, we have our script file here in the download folder, and this is where the script file is. We can go ahead here and kind of open the CMD command line here. If you click here, you can type CMD, you can type the CMD command line, and I'll go ahead and tap enter. And here, as you guys can see, this is the path to the download folder. And I'll go ahead and copy this path and open a notepad here in window. Open notepad here in window, and I'm going to paste that. Now, if I go to my GitHub repository here and kind of copy this command, I am going to mimic this one. Let me go ahead and paste it below this one. What are we going to do here? We say PowerShell. Let us put PowerShell execution policy bypass, and we're going to point the file. And what is the file? The name of the file that we want to trigger. It is this one. It is this one. That means you will modify this command here accordingly. Make sure that you kind of open the CMD command where you created the PowerShell file, and you go ahead and kind of take the absolute path, right? It is in my download folder, and this is the name, and it is in my C drive user, and so on. And I'll go ahead and kind of erase this one. I'll copy this, and I'm going to open a CMD command. Here, I have my command prompt here open. Let me close all this. Let me close this, and now open the command prompt. As you guys can see, you don't really need to be in this path no more, because right now you have the absolute path, and you can go ahead and kind of fire up this command, and let us wait and see. As you guys can see here, the installation basically started, right? And we'll wait a little bit for this to get installed. And like I mentioned earlier, it's going to create a directory in your C drive called Terraform with capital T, and it will go ahead and kind of put all version in there. Right now, as you guys can see, it is installing Terraform version. It is done already with Terraform version 0.12.30. It is going through Terraform 0.13 and so on. And why it's doing this, if we kind of check also our download folder so far, go to our C drive, and check, we see here that they have another folder here. And so far, as you guys can see here, we have what? We have the version 12, the version 13, and right now it is on 14. That means if we refresh this very soon, we'll see that 14 is here when it's done. If you refresh, you guys can see here, 14 pops up here, and this will be the right way, right? As you guys can see, it downloaded another one already, and when it's done, it will move into another version. It is basically looping over, right? And this is what we call automation, because if you have multiple versions to install, you don't want to install all those versions one after another. 14 is already installed, and it is moving, right? It is moving. Very soon, another one will pop up here, which is version 1, and the last one, version 1 is done. Version 1 is done, and even version 1.2.6 is done, and it's going to create the last one that we call it Terraform. And when this is done, we'll just go ahead and add this one into our path, and that's it. And add it into our path, and we basically use the PowerShell to automate the installation, right? If you want to see the same thing here, I don't know what happened here, but it basically installed everything here. As you guys can see, it was able to kind of check all the version here and give us the right version, right? It was able to do that. And I believe that it wasn't able to add this one into a path because this path exists already. And I'll go ahead and show you guys. I basically set the path already. It was trying to add everything into a path that exists already. What do I mean? If I say env here and go to the environment variable and kind of click here on path, and if you're trying to edit path, you guys will see that I have a path called what? C:/Terraform. And when you install everything, you make sure that you copy this thing and you add it into your path, right? So that you will be able to run Terraform from anywhere. I am going to cancel this. And that is why maybe it's trying to set that path and find out that that exists already. Now, if you're kind of trying to test it now, if you type Terraform, I can open my Git bash now or anything that I want to kind of test all the version. Let me go ahead here now and type Terraform -- version and see what I'm going to have here. Terraform -- version. As you guys can see here, we're going to have version 1. Now let us type TF1 also. As you can see, is version 1. Let us record a command and type TF12. That is good. Let us record a command and type TF13. Let us record a command and type TF14. As you can see, and we can kind of record a command and type TF1.2.6. TF1 126, and that is 1.2.6, right? That's it, guys. This is a right way, right, that you can basically manage, you can install and manage multiple versions of Terraform, right? If you like this video, and also if you want to see how to install Terraform the same way that I did here in Windows, you basically want to know this on Mac and also on Linux, please let me know in the description below, and I'll go ahead and create another video on how to install Terraform on Windows, on Linux, and also Mac OS the proper way. Please, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Bye-bye.